Okay, welcome everybody to our very first ever all CEO community happy hour hangout. It is super exciting to see we've got 6 pages of the Brady Bunch with all the little squares of everybody. It's so fun to see your faces. Right now we're at over 130 CEOs who are dialing in, and we are so happy to welcome you and have you here with us tonight. So for those of you that don't know, our happy hour hangout is something that we do the first Monday of every single month, and we do it with our directors and above. And this is a time where we come together with our leaders in the CEO community, and we talk about what's happening with business. We talk about what's happening with promotions and incentives. We share a lot of sneak peeks and give insight into things that are coming down the road. So they get a little bit of insider information early. And they also get to have one-on-one time with myself, with Jake, with Tiffany, with Sabrina, with our leaders, with our founders, with our home office team. And it's an opportunity to have a really great two-way conversation where we can have real-time interaction and feedback, and it's also pretty cool to get inside early on things that are coming ahead. So we are really excited to welcome all of you tonight. Thank you so much for being flexible with us changing it from Monday to Tuesday this week. As you guys know, it's been a pretty insane 48 hours. There's been a lot going on in our world over the last month. A lot of things we kind of feel like we're getting punched left and right. And, every week you wake up and you look at the news and there's something different that's going on where we're having to throw our support behind and we're being affected, our families, our friends, and it's a pretty tough thing. One of the amazing things is that we have community that keeps us going through difficult times. And I'm super proud of the One Hope team. We are a very young company. We're a small company, but we are growing really quickly, and you're going to hear more about that later in the call tonight. But we really, what we were founded on and what we do best is spread hope and do our best collectively to make a huge impact and a huge difference in the world. And that's easy to do, when times are good and things are kind of chugging along. Sometimes that's really hard to do when you're faced with a lot of adversity and a lot of things that kind of keep coming at you one after the other, is reeling, from one thing emotionally and then trying to rebound from that and then having something else happen. One of the things that we did internally as a home office team is we had an amazing call yesterday as a group led by Jake. And one of the things I said to Jake is, that was a very powerful experience that just for me, and I think for all of us, really pinpointed how happy, how blessed, how lucky, how thankful we are to be a part of the company that we're a part of, where our mission is giving back and doing good every single day and inspiring our families and our friends and our communities to join us in doing the same thing. And, when tragedy strikes and things happen, it's hard to know the right thing to say or the right thing to do. And you see us trying to do that for you guys. And I hope that we are doing, that you see that, and we are providing you the best resources and support that we possibly can, because it's important to us. And you guys are our family. And yesterday, Jake called the home office One Hope family together, and we had a really powerful experience and a really powerful discussion together as a team. And so what I'd like to do to kind of start off the call tonight is turn it over to Jake to share a little bit more about sort of our thoughts and what we came together and discussed yesterday as a home office team.
Thanks, Katie. Can you hear me okay, Katie?
Yes, you're good.
All right, awesome. So Katie actually touched on quite a few of the general topics that we discussed yesterday. As Katie touched on a handful of the topics she covered, so I'll try to be as concise as possible because it's a little bit strange timing, obviously. This is the first time that we've ever had a happy hour call. It was scheduled for yesterday. It didn't feel right to jump into it yesterday. Timing wise, I was still processing a lot on things, as I'm sure many of you were. And it wasn't just the bottled situation in Las Vegas, albeit one of the worst of its kind on U.S. soil. But I think it was the combination of natural disasters over the last month, and obviously this consistent conversation around war, global unrest, other political buzzing going on. And I was coming to the realization that there may be more natural disasters in the coming year. The Earth has definitely not been happy with us right now and for a little while now. And I said this not to scare anybody on our team, but also to let them know that we're here and in this together as a team. And we're kind of walking down this road of unknowingness and scary realities of our time. And that I hope that we lean on each other to have real conversations around the world, and the role that we as individuals play in it, but also the role that we can play in it as an organization, as a united organization together. And I said, I don't just hope that you guys lean on each other. I actually implore you to lean on each other, to have real conversations about the world and the role we play in it. And that we're lucky that we have the opportunity to be vulnerable with each other about how scary and uncontrollable, unpredictable, unexplainable, confusing life is sometimes. And this feeling yesterday, the fact that I had that feeling, and I think in a lot of my peer groups, I'm generally one of the most confident ones, and one of the ones who feels like they do have control, and a person who never wants to feel like a victim in a moment or around something. And I'm always trying to draw optimism. Yet, even yesterday, I had a really hard time finding hope for that day. And I hate that I lost a day of building this company and this brand and this vision. But I also think that it's a real thing to have to grieve about stuff. And I think that it wasn't just, like I said, grieving about what had happened in the last 24 hours, but also grieving about a lot of things that have kind of built up. And I got it out of my system yesterday. I still am not, 100% today. And I wanted to acknowledge that I feel like most people probably felt that way yesterday. And so it was good for me to get on the phone with our company, because they almost never hear me kind of acknowledging stuff like that. It's always about what's the next step forward, what's the next step forward. And if you were feeling that way yesterday, you weren't alone. There were many of you that were feeling that way, and there were many of us in the home office. And I think that connection is a powerful one. It's humanity. If you didn't feel that way, it's surprising, right? And the last thing, and then I want to get into some of the exciting things that are going on in our quest to make an impact and to make the world better. I talked about this writer, David Eagleman, who says there's three deaths. There's the death where the body ceases to function. There's a death where the body's consigned to the grave. And then there's this moment sometime in the future when your name is spoken for the last time. And this idea of legacy and the importance of our name and the family that we're building first and foremost. And then also your career and profession being a huge part of your life and a large part of the hours that you spend doing in this world. And that, one hope is our legacy as a home office when it comes to your career. There's a reason why our brand's not named Tom Leahy or Tiffany Wykevich or Christian Schroyer or Brandon Hall or Sarah McPeak, the co-founders of this company, or named after me. We're named One Hope because our message is bigger than any of the single individuals in it. And I think that gives us the opportunity to have a huge legacy. And so yesterday we grieved about it, and we've reflected on the last couple months really, and really about how we have a magical group of people coming together, and how we as a company are ambassadors of hope, and we should be living our brand now more so than ever. The world needs it now more so than ever. And I told them I will be relentless in my pursuit of good. Nothing will get in the way of it as I'm here on earth. And we as a company will be relentless in our pursuit of good. And that extends to our community of CEOs. All of you are part of that. We're going to be relentless in our pursuit of good. And I asked our team to each take a day, or at least a portion of one of their days this month, whether it was during work or on a weekend, and to go out and touch somebody at the very grassroots level, mentor a kid, go to a school and speak to somebody or a class, talk to a friend who hasn't had somebody there for them in a long time. Whatever it is, go and serve and get on the ground floor and volunteer and do an act of kindness, and do that in your relentless pursuit of good. And so we're going to embrace that and kind of put that to work as a company. All of you, I suggest it. I can't demand it with this community. And I appreciate, Katie, you let me share that with the community, because it is a pretty unique day, right? It's a pretty unique time in the world, and it happens to fall on our first time doing happy hour with the whole community. And so we decided to go off script a little bit and jump into that, because that's part of this too, is having a real connection with you, our community, and knowing who we, your home office, are behind the scenes, and how we talk to each other and the conversations we have and what drives us. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tiff, and I think Tom might be on the call as well. And they're going to lead us in a couple of fun little updates and statistics around the way that we're growing and around the way that our impact in turn is growing. So over to you, Tiffany.
Sure. Thanks, Jake. Like Jake and Katie have already said, our hearts are just really have gone out to everybody affected by everything terrible going on. It's been hard. And so we acknowledge that, and thank you guys for just being so positive, and we all lean on you guys too for support. And I know you guys know that. So thank you. I wanted to share some exciting stuff with you guys today. Stuff that we don't always share, but that I think really highlights the momentum that we've had in the last few months. You guys have been absolutely killing it, and it's been just so amazing to see. We're all really so proud to be on this journey with you. And I just wanted to give you guys an idea of the kind of momentum that we're riding on going into the biggest selling season of the year, October, November, and December. So we have added over 500 net new CEOs since the beginning of August, which means we have more than doubled our community since January 1st. So we have doubled our community this year, you guys. It's been awesome, and it's so great to see all of your new faces on this call today. All of that hard work and recruiting efforts have now led us to closing out the biggest month that we've ever had. September was our biggest revenue month ever. So cheers to that. I'm going to have to drink a second. Anyone who's drinking can have a sip with me. Jake, you're drinking coffee? What the heck? Cheers to that. It's been really good. Just to let you guys know too, my official title is Chief Revenue Officer. So I love giving these updates. But if they're not exciting to you, that's totally understandable. I just kind of wanted to arm you guys with some fun info. On that note, I also wanted to let you guys know that you have increased our annual average revenue per CEO by 40% since last September. So what that means is our average right now, our average CEO is doing 40% more revenue than they were doing last September. So that's been really great too. If you guys ever have wondered how many bottles we sell in a month, we sold over 50,000 bottles in September. 50,000, which is almost 4 times what we sold last year in September. So again, just huge. It was a little less than $15,000 15,000 bottles last September. That's a lot of customers out there that are going to need more wine for October and November and December. So trust me, they'll need more. Our community has held over 9,000 events in 2017. 9,000 events in 9 months. So that's 4 times what we did last year at this time. That's an average of 1,000 events per month, which is 250 events per week. So just imagine how many local fundraisers are happening every single week that you guys are making happen. This will only go up again during October, November, and December. So just really great to see. Lastly, I wanted to give you guys the most exciting update of all. And some of the following numbers, I think, mean the most to most of us on this call. It's the reason why Jake and I and Tom and Brandon and Kristen and Sarah started this company. And it's our impact. It's the impact that we're all making together on some of our biggest causes. So I wanted to share that with you guys too. To date, we have provided 2,147 hours of ABA therapy to children with autism. That's incredible. We've provided almost 50,000 pet adoptions. 50,000 pets have been adopted through ASPCA. We have provided a little bit over 150,000 life-saving vaccines through the sales of our Merlot. I think this one has been amazing to see, and it's how many clinical trials we've provided. As many of you guys know, October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And to date, we have provided over 16,000 clinical trials for women with breast cancer. We've also reunited almost 7,000 veterans with a sense of purpose through Team Rubicon. And we've almost provided 1.8 million meals since we started. So some pretty exciting stuff. And we wanted to share that with you guys because we know that's a big reason why you're here. And so thank you for all that you do, and cheers to going into an amazing selling season here in October, November, and December. Katie.
Awesome. Thanks, Tiff.
Yeah.
Incredible numbers. I just want to take a second too, if I didn't highlight this at the beginning of the call. This is why you want to become a director and above via One Hope, is because you get to hop on this call and get amazing information like this that we don't share in the Vine, we don't post on Facebook, we don't talk about unless you're a part of the leadership team and you're on these calls. So we're inviting you guys to leadership this month, and definitely set a goal for yourself to earn leadership. I do also want to say, I did forget at the beginning of the call to welcome everybody who promoted for the first time in the month of September. We have a lot of brand new directors, senior directors, and above on this call. And so welcome and congratulations to you guys. And for those of you that aren't quite there yet, you're getting a little sneak peek tonight. Make it a plan so that you can join us every single month. And I'm going to turn it over to Sabrina now, who is going to talk a little bit more about some things that came out in the Vine today. Did you guys see the Vine? Anybody excited about some stuff in the Vine today?
Wow, we've got some hand raised down there. I don't even know what that means. So yeah, those numbers are making my head spin right now. Those numbers are amazing, Tiffany. That's so exciting for everything that we're doing in the community. So as Katie mentioned, we made some really exciting announcements today in the Vine. One of them is that we're offering double points for the trip incentive for October. So all of your commissionable sales from October 1st through October 31st will earn you 2 trip incentive points, not just one like normal, but 2 trip incentive points. So definitely sell. We have this amazing October promotion, the Drink Pink sale going on. So definitely offer that to your past purchasers, past customers. And then also another thing to note is that a lot of our leaders are doing a booking blitz this month. So definitely reach out to your leader to see when your team is doing their booking blitz. And make sure you jump on that because we want to make sure that you keep your October, November, and December booked. Definitely book close. It's very important to keep your calendar full when you get into this holiday season. So definitely stay on top of that with your leader. And one thing to note regarding the incentive trip points is that we ask that you let them update. It is a manual process that our team has to do. So allow 24 hours if your report isn't updating correctly. Allow 24 to 48 hours before you reach out to support because it is updated by 5 p.m. on every business day. So definitely stay on top of your numbers, of course, but reach out to support after 24 to 48 hours if they don't update. And then let's see here. We're so excited to help you excel this month and through the holiday season. So definitely jump on our training calls, look into the Facebook community group to see all of our recorded calls that we have available for you guys. We have so many great tools available in VN University. So we're just so excited to see this momentum grow from October, November, December into the new year. And back to Katie.
Awesome. Thank you, Sabrina. So you guys have been harassing us for, a good month and a half. Is it going to be double points in October? It was double points. It was double points. And if you touch base with anybody who's typically on these calls, they will tell you that typically it's not that tough to pry secrets away from me. I kind of start talking and then I get excited and I can't help myself and cats start running out of bags. But I kept this one under wraps, and sorry to any of you who have messaged me, texted me, emailed me, and I ignored you. I was really trying very hard not to let this one out. So this is huge, you guys. We had an amazing incentive trip this spring where we were in Cancun. We had 32, I believe, CEOs who earned our very first incentive trip. And it was an amazing experience, a very small group of people, just like our very first Crush conference was a very small, intimate group of people. And, you could argue to say that Crush this year, I believe it was a very small, intimate group of people. These first few years of annual meetings and annual VIA vacations, which we're going to start calling them, they're going to be small groups of people. And as the years, roll by, we're going to see hundreds and thousands of people on the beach at a VIA vacation together. And so if you're brand new, you can still earn that trip. October is a great time to really dig in. And like Sabrina said, book like crazy. People are, already planning holiday events and parties that they're hosting. Obviously, you can bring a lot to the table by partnering with things that are already going on. So even though it's, October, we've got a couple months left here in the year, don't count yourself out. You have every opportunity to earn that incentive trip as anyone else who's on this call, who might be having a wine tasting tonight and they couldn't join the call. We actually had someone earn the trip last year from Pennsylvania, who we didn't open up in Pennsylvania until November of last year. And so she earned the trip within 2 months. So I just want to tell you guys, it is absolutely possible. And if that's your goal, reach out to your upline, reach out to the community. We're here to support you and celebrate you and help you achieve your goals. And I just want to turn it back over to Jake for just a couple minutes to give a few more updates from Napa Valley that only Jake can provide. And then I'll come back and close this up and we'll open it up for any questions. Go ahead, Jake.
Thank you, Katie. I do want to reiterate how cool it is seeing 150 to 155 people consistently on here, and a bunch of new faces actually, and a bunch of faces that I recognize very well now at this point. And I hope to recognize all of you soon enough. Some quick updates from the property. I was just over there today. We finished pouring the porches and a lot of the hardscape. We started pouring the foundation last week for the winery in Napa, and that's gone in. The winery is actually about 25% done, but you're just starting to see the structure go into place. The home is 80% of the way done. We just, for those of you who have seen it on Instagram or Facebook, the bald cypress is just starting to go up on the wine tower. So it's kind of the last of the finishing of the outside of the structure. And then olive trees are going to be going in next week around the perimeter, and the first landscaping starting to go up around the house. So it's a really exciting time. You're seeing changes all of the time. It is one of the key hearts of the brand, this property and this vineyard and the One Hope Winery. And as a reminder, we talk about it as One Hope's Vineyard, or One Hope Vineyard, that has Cabernet and Sauvignon Blanc. And we talk about the winery as One Hope Winery. Even the street going in may be called One Hope Way. I don't know what we're going to ultimately call it. But the home, the private residence on the property is called Estate 8. Our small production wine brand made from the grapes off of the One Hope Vineyard is called Estate 8. And the community, the small community of owners that owns it with us, ranging from musicians and athletes to entrepreneurs and executives to doctors and other people who do very interesting stuff, to nice young families, to you name it. That community of people we also refer to as the Estate 8 community. I know a lot of you saw a little bit of the information earlier this week, and as a reminder, we have a call for the nomination process for Vineyard Investment Partners this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Every via CEO will get a nomination for a Vineyard Investment Partner. And our CEO community is a group who has been reaching out to us now, some of you for over a year, asking about this. And I kept putting it to the back burner because we hadn't really come to a decision. And a couple of you pushed really hard on it and got me to chat with our board. And now we're here. So thank you for those of you who voiced your interest in this. And thank you for those of you who have had consideration around somebody who would be perfect for a nomination. We know it's not something that everybody's interested in, but we think that there are a lot of people who seem to have at least somebody who's interested in it. And we purposely decided to only give up to one nomination because we do want to keep it to everybody's best nomination and their single best nomination they could think of. And we think that who better than our One Hope CEOs to tell us who those people are that fit the values of our company and make a good fit in a small community like that we are building. That group, as a reminder, also enables us to be able to do what we're doing with building this flagship property. And we do plan to make sure that winery and just our mere presence in Napa is extremely valuable to all of you and helps all of you in building this brand. Speaking of which, transitioning from there, call Thursday, 5:30 p.m. We'll do a shareable tomorrow. You'll be reminded about it before it happens. But as far as the being able to escalate this brand and our momentum, 54,000 bottles of hope that were shared. That's what I believe Tiff said, over 54,000 bottles. In the month of September, conversations started. People with our wine, you've probably seen it. They turn it around, or when it's presented to them with the story, a conversation is started. So it's not just 54,000 bottles that had a donation built in. It's conversations around it. It's awareness. It's brand exposure. It's our stories exposure. It's your exposure. We did over 10,000 packages direct to people's doorsteps in September. That's 10,000 packages of hope arriving at people's doorsteps. And I know some of those went to you all, and some people, those were your starter kits, and hopefully you did feel a little bit of a sensation of hope or excitement or whatever it may be, something really positive when you opened up that package. And so I think this idea of packages of hope arriving at people's doorsteps is a super cool thing. And we are getting prepared right now, infrastructure wise as a company, to be able to do 20,000 packages of hope a day. And ultimately scale beyond that, but 20,000 a day gets us pretty big. And then the next phase is how we get to 100,000 a day of those types of packages. I don't throw that out lightly. We're on a mission to become the #1 selling direct-to-consumer wine brand in the world. We believe that we're already #2 when it comes to direct sales under the single wine brand in the US. We are the #1 selling wine brand in Pennsylvania, thanks to a bunch of you. So any of you who are in Pennsylvania know that One Hope is the #1 selling wine brand direct to consumer in the Pennsylvania market. There's a number of other states around the nation where we're in the #1 or #2 spot. We only really noted this because Pennsylvania and the Pennsylvania Inquirer, they wrote about the fact that we were the #2 selling e-commerce company in the entire wine space, and the #1 one sells 160 brands. So we know that their #1 selling brand doesn't make up over 50% of what they're doing there. And a lot of states are private about this information, but the idea that a company who is building a measurable impact into every package that is going out the door is also doing the most packages and the most sales in even a single state like Pennsylvania, let alone that we're going to be doing the most direct to people's doorsteps in the world, is an exciting thing. And I think that's kind of when we talk about bringing light into the world, every single one of those packages, every single one of the bottles that Tiffany touched on and highlighted in her numbers is pushing the needle forward. So now, how do we become the #1 largest in the US we won't get ahead of ourselves, #1 in the world, but in the US. It does come down to growing the community. And you may all know that there was a suitcase challenge thrown out in July, and there hasn't been a ton of updates since Crush. And I'm truthfully not going to give you too many updates right now. As we get a little closer, we are going to start giving a little bit more updates, but I'm sure some of you can guess who is in the lead right now. And if you can't, her name starts with a J and ends with ES. But there are people that are tracking and gaining a little bit. And we have been talking about it internally about what maybe there's room to do a second and third place prize. And so we haven't come up with quite the perfect thing yet, but we just wanted to let you guys know and put it out there that putting a good effort in, because it's best for yourself, it's best for your team, it's best for sharing the story of this brand, it's best for making us #1 in the US. I see you, Heather. I agree for sure. #1 in the US is happening. To do it, it's going to take building this out. And so 2 or 3 may get some prizes. Shoot, we may even go to 4 and 5. I don't know what we're going to do, but I know that #1 is still available. And I know that this is a story that there's plenty of you who feel very comfortable telling it and sharing it and aren't just excited about it, but it's second nature. It's something that you want to share and that you're proud of. Outside of your excitement for growing your business, you're proud to be associated with it. And so that's the best way to do it, is to share what you're doing and why you're proud to be associated with it and how you're connected with it and your personal story. And there's no real secret when you ask Jess. I'm sure she has a couple that she keeps to herself, but it's really telling the story and sharing it with as many people as she can and the right people. And I guess I'll leave it at that. I am excited to be doing this. It's kind of a fun challenge, and I will be cited a few more times with the suitcase in my hands, and I have not forgotten about it. And I hope those of you who are at Crush have not forgotten about it either. So With that, Katie, why don't you take us home? I love seeing the smiles on people's faces. The suitcase challenge makes people laugh and smile because it's, it's me being a little goofy, throwing a suitcase over my head. There will be more shots of that. I've been collecting special bottles along the way. Every time I see an interesting thing, I'm like, ooh, maybe that should make the suitcase. Maybe it'll make the suitcase. Maybe that will be the one that makes it especially special. So more to come on that front. I think as we get closer to the end, I'll start sharing some of the bottles and doing a couple of stories. And I do hope to be seeing all of you live again soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Jake. I think that's one of the really cool things, you guys, about being a part of a smaller startup type of business is that we listen to your feedback and we hear everything that you guys are talking about that you send to feedback with ideas and suggestions. And I don't remember who it was about a month and a half ago that had an idea about, some different price levels for the suitcase, because there's only one suitcase. And like Jake said, there's only 12 bottles that thing holds. So I think we could probably fill up a couple suitcases and come up with some more ideas. So we love to be creative and kind of roll with it. I know for the planners in the group, sometimes that probably drives you crazy. But for those of you that are super orange, like, freedom loving, like that's a great idea, let's run with it type of people, that's a lot of who we are at One Hope. And so I think that I think you can count on some pretty cool second, third, who knows how many places ideas we'll come up with in the coming months. So stay tuned. We will let you know. So just to wrap us up, you guys, I just want to, again, thank everybody for calling in tonight. It's amazing to see all of these new faces. We see your names. We see you sometimes on social media when you're engaging in the community. We see your names that show up on promotion reports and sales reports and things like that. But you guys know, yes, we are a business, but we're way more than that. Like Jake said, we are about spreading packages of hope and spreading hope in our communities with each other. And we have a pretty amazing community. And it's so fun to see all of the relationships, the friendships that are going to last a lifetime, that have been forged through the One Hope community. I'm seeing on my screen our Vegas girls. I don't know if you're in Lisa's living room or Lizzie's or whose, but I see Lisa's name there. Girls, it's so good to see you. We love you. We're supporting you. All of you who have been through so much in the last month in Texas, in Florida, in Las Vegas. You guys, this is why we do what we do. At the end of the day, we all have a personal why of what we're trying to accomplish for ourselves, for our families, for financial, for emotional, whatever that thing is, your why. It's different for each one of us. But what's amazing is that we have this huge collective community with the overriding number one why of making an impact and spreading hope in the world. And along the way, we've got some pretty cool, things that go along with that, a suitcase challenge, a trip to Puerto Vallarta, other things like that. But at the end of the day, the reason why I get out of bed every day, why I'm excited to go to work every day is because of each and every one of you and because of the impact that we are making in the world and with each other. You guys have touched, all of us at One Hope, our lives and each other in ways that are absolutely incredible to see the growth that we're experiencing. It seems kind of strange to be sharing, business updates and incentives and things like that, and also thinking about people that are hurting right now, that need hope, that need help. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay to be proud of yourself. It's okay to be proud of your accomplishments. And at the same time, be doing a hell of a lot of good in the world together. One of the things that I shared yesterday on our team call with One Hope that I want to share with you guys is, people deal with situations like this in different ways. Sometimes it takes a long time for things to sort of hit and for reality to sink in and for people to process. tragic events like we've seen. And, you know, a lot of times work is the one thing that keeps people going. It can be the constant. You know it's going to be there. You know the routine. You know what to expect. It's a safe place, and it's actually provides a lot of confidence and peace and happiness because you know you can count on it. And for me, you know, processing kind of the emotions that I had yesterday, that's the one thing that I really immediately hung on to yesterday was I knew that I could come to work yesterday and I would have a team of people surrounding me that I could count on, that were going to be there for me. And we were going to help each other talk about it and be real with each other. And still, at the end of the day, as Team Rubicon says, get shit done. And so we are really honored and happy to be, hopefully, you know, for those of you, if that's your outlet, we're happy and blessed and very fortunate to be able to provide that kind of an outlet for you guys. We're here for you. One of the things in our mission statement says we might not always get it right, but we're always getting better. And our commitment to you guys is to continue to get better and better day in and day out, to continue to partner with you as a community to make a difference and make an impact in the world. And we're so grateful and so happy to have all of you on the call tonight. And please take that feeling that you have tonight when you hang up, share it with your teams. We'll post the recording of the call, tag people when we post it, get them to listen and dial in. And we really want to see you. I want to see 150 people every week on every month on our happy hour hangout. Thank you so much, you guys, for everything that you do for us, for your community, for each other. You guys are an amazing group of people. And this is very rare and very unique what we have as a community. And it's amazing to have all of you together tonight. And so with that, I'll go ahead and close us up. Unless, Jake, if you have any final thoughts you want to share.
I'm good, Katie. Thanks for wrapping that up and just second everything that you just laid out. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jake. Great to see you all. Have a beautiful evening. Enjoy October. Take advantage of double points because we want to see all of you on the beach in Mexico. See you guys over on Facebook. We will definitely take the chat box from tonight with the questions and suggestions that you have. Sorry if we weren't able to answer your questions, if there was too much coming through, but we will take it and get back to you either through the Vine or through the community page and answer your questions and share some of the statistics that we shared tonight. So good to see you all. Have a beautiful evening. Cheers.